For decades, the standard medical advice for patients with heart conditions was simple and strict: stay away from caffeine. But a recent wave of large-scale clinical trials has completely upended that conventional wisdom. The latest science shows that the right dose of coffee actively protects your heart rhythm, and a massive 43-year study links it to a significantly lower risk of dementia. But achieving these benefits comes down to exact brewing parameters. And here is the problem. The vast majority of Western consumers drink their coffee in a way that actively destroys its biological advantages. Viewing coffee as a simple tool for alertness misses its potential as a biological intervention. To capture the full cardiovascular and neurological protection, we have to look at coffee through the lens of a data-driven protocol. Let's start with the first parameter of our protocol: your heart. Specifically, managing a condition called atrial fibrillation, or an irregular heartbeat. A major clinical trial known as Decaf looked at 200 patients who had a history of heart rhythm issues. Researchers split them into two groups, one instructed to drink at least 1 cup of caffeinated coffee every day, and another placed on strict prohibition, meaning 0 caffeine. This chart compares the recurrence of irregular heartbeats between those two groups. 64% of the prohibition group saw their heart rhythm issues return, compared to only 47% in the caffeine group. That translates to a 39% lower risk of recurrence for the coffee drinkers. Looking closely at the data block for the caffeine group reveals a strict rule: the active ingredient is non-negotiable. Decaffeinated coffee provided 0 observable benefit for heart rhythm management. At a microscopic level, caffeine acts as an antagonist. It physically locks into specific cellular receptors in the heart, blocking a chemical called adenosine, which exerts a protective, anti-arrhythmic effect on the muscle tissue. This chemical interaction helps explain why the Decaf trial saw such a sharp decline in heart rhythm issues, shifting caffeine from a suspected cardiac risk to a potential tool for arrhythmia management. The second parameter of our protocol shifts from the heart to the brain. Researchers at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health tracked over 130,000 participants across 43 years to map cognitive health. This graph plots daily coffee consumption against dementia risk, and it reveals a precise optimal dosage. Consuming exactly 2 to 3 cups of caffeinated coffee per day sits at the peak of the curve, resulting in an 18% reduction in dementia risk. Notice how the line extends past the 4-cup mark and flatlines. Consuming higher amounts offers no additional cognitive protection. The benefits strictly plateau. This specific dosage triggers a dual defense mechanism in the brain. First, antioxidants in the coffee called polyphenols protect neurons from oxidative stress. Second, the caffeine itself suppresses the accumulation of amyloid beta, a primary protein linked to Alzheimer's disease. This mechanism is supported by institutional research out of Keio University in Japan, which demonstrated that specific compounds in coffee actually promote the breakdown of the enzymes responsible for producing that amyloid beta in the first place. Hitting that 2 to 3 cup sweet spot ensures these biological pathways are properly activated, separating casual morning consumption from active long-term neuroprotection. The final parameter concerns dietary saboteurs. A separate study examining over 46,000 adults linked moderate coffee intake to lower overall mortality, but there is a massive condition attached to that data. This threshold scale shows that the mortality benefits only exist if additives are kept to a strict minimum. Specifically, added sugar must stay below half a teaspoon, and saturated fat needs to remain under 1 gram per cup. Dropping in the heavy amounts of sugar and fat found in standard Western beverages, like flavored lattes or frappuccinos, completely eradicates the cardiovascular and mortality advantages. The source of the chemical matters too. High-dose synthetic caffeine, like the kind pumped into commercial energy drinks, does not replicate the health benefits of naturally brewed coffee. Ultimately, your preparation method is the single biggest fail point. A scientifically perfect dose is medically useless if it is corrupted by high amounts of sugar and fat. Here is the daily checklist. 1 caffeinated cup daily yields a 39% drop in atrial fibrillation recurrence. 2 to 3 cups daily yields an 18% drop in dementia risk. Constraints: naturally caffeinated, under half a teaspoon of sugar, and minimal fat. The challenge is straightforward. When you brew your cup tomorrow morning, skip the sweetened creamers and the flavored syrups. Drink it black, or as close to black as possible. While coffee is not a standalone medical cure, these clinical reductions in heart and brain disease suggest that a precise daily habit can be a significant factor in long-term wellness.